All right. Yeah. Welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He's Johnny North. WrestlingUncensored.net is the website. Go there. Check out everything that we do, be it Ringside Report, the MMA show, Dave and Johnny Live. Everything is available, podcast and YouTube. A lot of the shows are YouTube exclusive, actually. Dave and Johnny Live. Specifically, Ringside Report, of course, you can get as a podcast, but you got to go to the YouTube channel. You got to go to www.ringsidereport.net. You got to go to watch Dave and Johnny Live, especially this week. If you missed the show, Dave and Johnny Live this week was the full AEW Full Gear preview. So if you're coming to Wrestling Uncensored and saying, hey, where's the AEW Full Gear preview? Well, that was on Dave and Johnny Live this week. We go live on YouTube every Friday afternoon at about 12:30. And we talk professional wrestling, and we previewed AEW's Full Gear because, of course, in a lot of different markets, we're going to be on Wrestling Uncensored after Full Gear, but we're going to be talking about the WWE here on the show tonight. If you want our thoughts on Full Gear, you can watch the show with us right now on the YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/ringsidereport.net, youtube.com/ringsidereport, DOTNET. During AEW's Full Gear, we'll be doing a watch-along and post-show. Johnny and I will be there. We'll be having a party. Not as crazy as the UFC party we had last weekend, but it'll be a party nonetheless, watching AEW's Full Gear, get our reactions to the show on the YouTube channel. There's always stuff going on this vast Ringside Report network. And Johnny, it has got me very, very busy. Nonstop, right? And we are watching a lot of professional wrestling. AEW was good this week. I thought WWE was good this week, too. The NXT Invasion has added a lot to WWE television, and NXT invading WWE this week. It started on SmackDown, and it continued on Raw, and we even continued on SmackDown again this week, and on NXT, with the OC invading NXT and attacking the Undisputed Era guys and having a tag team match with Adam Cole and Keith Lee and Tommaso Ciampa. It was a lot of fun. It started last week on SmackDown. A tremendous episode of SmackDown last Friday night. Really good show. And a lot of the WWE was stuck in Saudi Arabia, which we could get to, our theories on what happened in Saudi Arabia too, right, John? Because there's still more news coming out as to what went on there. We can touch on that in a little bit. But as far as the show they had to scramble to put together with the limited roster, they did pretty well. I mean, they brought in a lot of NXT people to kind of fill the gaps, but the show turned out excellent. I'd say it was the best SmackDown since going to Fox.
Well, you kind of changed everything around, too, right? Because you got rid of WWE Champion Brock Lesnar. He's no longer on SmackDown. He went to Raw. That's huge.
Yeah, that was big news to start the show. But not just that, right? I mean, it wasn't just that Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman were there and talking about, how they beat Cain Velasquez at Crown Jewel, but then Rey Mysterio, he hit Brock Lesnar with a chair after the match, and Brock wanted to go to Raw to attack Rey, but Vince McMahon told him that he couldn't go to Raw, so Paul Heyman has decided that they're going to quit SmackDown and go to Raw, and that's how you settle it, because we were wondering last week, what's the deal here with Bray Wyatt? He's a Universal Champion. He's on SmackDown, and Brock Lesnar's the WWE Champion on SmackDown, because Bray took the title from Seth last week at Crown Jewel, and Seth was the Raw champion. Bray takes the title. He's on SmackDown. So how does that leave Raw? And we figured it out this week and last week a little on SmackDown, where Brock Lesnar, he's just moving to Raw, which we kind of guessed was going to happen, right?
It needed to happen because Paul Heyman runs Raw, so it just makes the most sense. And now I think Raw's a better show because you have Brock Lesnar, who's going to take up a lot of TV time.
Yes, Brock, well, we'll see.
This week he did.
When he's there.
This week was fantastic. He did a pay-per-view, SmackDown, and Raw. Brock was the busiest guy.
Yes, this week. Will he be on the show next week?
Oh, probably not. I think he's going to take a vacation again, probably. But he's set for the pay-per-view.
Right. He'll be at Survivor Series?
The match is set.
Is it?
It's done deal.
Brock versus The Fiend versus Adam Cole?
No.
It's Brock versus Rey Mysterio.
For the WWE title.
Right. That is official. I like it.
It's great for Rey Mysterio. He's getting a WWE title shot on pay-per-view. It's been a long time.
So Heyman and Brock not only started SmackDown, but they started Raw this week, and Heyman explained Brock going to Raw a little bit more in detail. Did you notice that? That was weird, right?
Odd.
He's like, so, you know, when Alexa Bliss, when Nikki Cross were traded to SmackDown from Raw for future considerations? Yeah, that's going to be Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that's kind of weird and stupid, but whatever.
And he's like, well, Brock has a you can't fire him. It's a what is it? What was the clause? No-cut contract, which means he can't be fired. So if he decides to quit SmackDown, he can go to Raw and the WWE can't do anything about it, which means that Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins, they don't have no-cut contracts, so they couldn't just quit their brand whenever they felt like it, but Brock Lesnar can because he's special, because he's Brock Lesnar, because, of course, he's better than the audience, because he's a heel. He's a bad guy, right? So really what happened was Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss were traded for Brock Lesnar. I think the USA Network really got a good deal out of Fox there, right? Like, hey, we'll trade you Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss for Brock Lesnar. And they're like, yeah, good deal. What?
Considering Alexa Bliss is injured, it's a tremendous deal when you think about it.
What?
She's not even wrestling. She's hurt. She's got like an injury.
Nikki Cross is barely there, too? Like, what is going on there?
Well, to trade the WWE champion is ridiculous.
I guess they had to explain it somehow.
That's
but
terrible.
Didn't they double explain it, though?
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, Brock has a no-cut contract. He can do what he wants, but also Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. So which is it? Brock does what he wants and he just left to go to Raw? Or were Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss traded for Brock Lesnar? Heyman kind of said both.
It's kind of ridiculous how they just kind of double explain. And plus, like, he quit. So you also explain it again. Like, he just left anyway, so he wanted to go to Raw. So that's it.
They, like, over-explained it. I don't think they needed that much explanation. Brock quit SmackDown. He's going to Raw. Point final. It's over,
They just needed a long-winded promo, I guess, to start Raw, because that's what they usually do, and that's what happened. I don't mind it because in the end, we got some great Brock action.
I guess he throttled a man backstage.
Yeah, that was great.
I like when Brock was looking for Rey Mysterio, yelling backstage, Rey, amigo! Like, you're trying to kill the guy, and you're calling him your amigo. It was kind of funny. I didn't really like that Brock and Heyman call out Rey, but Rey doesn't show up. I'm kind of like, oh, what's the matter with Rey? Is he scared? What's the deal? But later on, we find out Rey was just looking for his opportunity. Unfortunately, a guy had to get throttled, and Dio Madden had to go through a table. But Rey found his opportunity, right? So Brock continues to look around for Rey Mysterio, and he throttles a man. And then another guy's like, oh, Rey's in that car. And then Brock goes to the car and rips the door off, and then rips the guy out of the car, but it's not Rey Mysterio. And the guy's like, I'm not Rey Mysterio. And Brock's like, okay, I don't think I've ever seen Rey without his mask on, but I'm assuming you're not Rey Mysterio. And then Brock and Heyman then show up to question the announce team, and they're like, Jerry Lawler, we're going to get you if you don't tell us where Rey Mysterio is. And Jerry's like, I don't know where Rey Mysterio is, And then Heyman says, Jerry, no one's going to resuscitate you after Brock Lesnar kills you and you die again on this stage like you've died on Raw before. I was like, whoa, Heyman, jeez. By God.
It's serious now.
Yeah, it got real serious. And then Dio Madden, who's gigantic. Like, why is this guy on commentary? Well, you soon found out why he's on commentary, because he took a terrible F5. Really awful bump through a table. He took it on his side. It was ugly. The guy obviously is not a wrestler, I guess. Who is he? What is Dio Madden? Why is he on my TV? Why is he taller than Brock Lesnar? What was going on there? Like, he's a very large man, and you realize that because Dio decides to step in and help Jerry Lawler. If you're not following, the commentary team on Raw is now Jerry Lawler, Dio Madden, and the other guy.
Joseph something?
Joseph Stalin is the other member of the announce team. He's pretty good, I think. He's very, he wants to share everything equally. It's a weird deal. I don't know. So I think he killed people. So I don't know what his deal is. Dio Madden, though, gigantic dude, took an F5 by Brock, and then Rey Mysterio comes out with an aluminum bat, starts smacking the hell out of Brock Lesnar. puts him down, and then grabs Brock's WWE Championship and runs and smacks him in the face with it, putting the Beast out. Rey Mysterio stands tall over Brock Lesnar. Again, crowd chants 619, people going crazy. I loved it. Rey Mysterio looked like a main eventer, looked like a threat to Brock Lesnar. Make this a no DQ match. Give Rey some weapons in it. I think they could have one hell of a match. I love that it's happening at Survivor Series. Rey is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. He deserves a match like this. One of the big 4 pay-per-views of the year. Rey versus Brock. Rey's obviously not going to win, but during the match, he'll make you believe that he can. That's how good he is.
Well, I'm just glad, considering what happened to his son, that he finally gets the match. It's cool that Kane came in and represented him, but that obviously didn't work out, and I'm glad Rey continues this and decides, like, well, now I'm going to try to beat Brock. Like you said, I don't think it's going to work out for him, but I like that he tries at least.
Yeah, I mean, Cain Velasquez tried to defend Rey and Dominic. He couldn't do it. Now it's up to Rey. Rey's got to do it. He's got to defend the honor not only of Dominic, but to his fallen buddy, Cain Velasquez, who just got tapped out and sent to the hospital for knee surgery by the Beast, Brock Lesnar.
So remember, too, Rey had a title shot. I think it was a Universal title shot that never happened. So now he finally gets this championship match. This has been building for a while when you think about it.
And it should be a great match, too. Like, we kind of know that Brock is probably going to win, right? Like, is there any part of you that thinks they're going to give it to Rey? I would like it, right? I love Rey, and I'd love to see him as WWE champion in 2020 or 2019, whatever year this is. I don't know. No one's keeping track. Who knows, right?
It's 19, but
whatever.
Okay.
Who cares? It's almost 20. It's nearly 20. I'm there already, John, okay?
All right.
Think to the future, okay?
All right.
So Rey Mysterio, it would be cool to see him champion. I'm saying if he wins now, he'd probably still be champion in a couple months when it's 2020. That's the point I'm trying to make. Johnny! Damn it. So, I'd like to see him champion. I love Rey. It's probably not going to happen, but you know that the match between Brock and Rey will be fantastic. They've wrestled before, right?
Yeah, like years and
years ago.
Yeah. And Brock won, but still, Rey tries his best.
They have a history. Rey, Brock, Eddie, there's a lot of history there.
Well, the history, too, is the fact that Brock won a championship, the Universal Championship, and lost it very quickly the next pay-per-view. So you have that for Rey, that maybe they'll do this again to Brock. I found it hard to believe he was going to lose it then. I have a hard time believing he's going to lose it now. So.
Yeah. If Brock doesn't lose to Rey, what's next for Brock?
That's tough. Because, like, Seth Rollins talked about it, right? Like, he's not going to go after this again because he's been there, done that, and he doesn't have the energy anymore, apparently, to do this. So,
Seth lost his smile.
Yeah, kind of, in a sense. Which is fine. I really don't want to see Seth and Brock ever again.
I don't need to see that again. So
it's tough. Maybe Rusev. They could build up Rusev, I think.
I don't know about that. Rusev can't get past Bobby Lashley.
Well, I think it's going to be Team Rusev against Team Bobby Lashley because it's not going to be Team Hogan, Team Flair anymore. But I think we've been reduced to Rusev and Lashley because they're the main stars of this kind of feud right now.
Let's say Brock doesn't wrestle again this year, which is very likely. After Survivor Series on the 24th of this month, he won't wrestle another match, right?
I don't think he will.
So we're talking about the Royal Rumble in January.
Sounds like a good return, yes.
Who's Brock's opponent?
I go with Rusev.
Really?
Who else is there on Raw? I love Kevin Owens, but apparently Kevin Owens disappeared from Raw, so...
Where'd he go?
I have no idea where he went. It's weird. Like, he showed up, he stunned AJ Styles, and now we haven't seen him in like 2-3 weeks.
Braun Strowman?
Braun Strowman's on SmackDown.
Samoa Joe?
He's kind of just vanished, Samoa Joe. He's still injured, I guess, so... And we've been there, done that with Brock and Samoa Joe.
How about this? And this was thrown out there this week. Tyson Fury.
Yeah, no.
He beat Braun Strowman.
Right.
He's a heavyweight boxing champion. You'd get a lot of interest, Heavyweight boxing champion taking on Brock Lesnar, former UFC heavyweight champion, in a WWE match. Tyson Fury's even talking about doing MMA or whatever. He's talking about a lot of different things. He said he wanted to wrestle Brock at WrestleMania, but Royal Rumble's almost as big.
I really hope not. I don't want to see that whatsoever. It's going to be so bad.
It'd be bad, but it would be money.
Really? Like, people want to see that?
It's Blockbuster. You know, it's a lot of big names involved there, right?
Okay, fine. On name value, paper, sure. It looks good, but when you watch that, it's going to be dreadful. It's going to be one of the worst matches you ever watch.
A lot of big name, big money matches turn out pretty bad. It doesn't really matter.
No, it's going to matter. It's going to really matter because you're going into WrestleMania and you're going with that? Terrible.
At the Rumble.
Yeah, like the Rumble's the lead up to WrestleMania. You got to have a better match than that. I think Rusev's a better opponent.
Maybe.
I think you can build Rusev up to that point.
I think they're going to have a hard time doing it from here on in. Like, come on, man. No one likes Rusev. Lana doesn't even like Rusev.
I think the fans love Rusev, actually, but that's the way you look at it.
He's a bitter ex-boyfriend.
I don't know if he's really bitter. He's just a little
come
angry.
on. He's bitter. All he wants to do is fight Bobby Lashley because he stole his wife.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm okay with that. He should.
Really? No, I don't think he should. If you are going through a divorce, you're not allowed to fight your wife's or ex-wife's new boyfriend. That's not how life works.
But this is wrestling, so it works. It's good.
Yeah, when Lana gets knocked over because Bobby Lashley took a drop kick, Jerry Lawler's like, yeah, Lana getting, I was like, what? Whoa. Not good. What happened there again? There was like a deal with Rusev.
I feel Ricochet got involved.
Yeah, Ricochet was involved. It was a big melee. It was Rusev cutting a promo saying, oh, I'm not here to bicker with my soon-to-be ex-wife. I'm here for Bob Lashley. You can have Lana, but I want your ass. And I was like, what?
Again, in terms of physical violence.
You can have Lana, but your ass is mine, Bob Lashley. Bob Lashley.
You complained about, like, why does you call him Bobby Lashley? Like, that's my boyfriend, Bobby Lashley.
Well, why is Lana calling him Bobby Lashley? You know, his real name is Roberto.
Right?
It's not Robert Lashley. It's Roberto.
Well, he prefers Bob, I guess. I don't know.
People should call him Roberto. Man, Roberto is way funnier.
Lana makes more sense.
Roberto Lashley.
Lana makes sense. Rusev, I think.
Lana should call him Roberto. Anyways, maybe Bobby doesn't like the people know that his name is Roberto.
Maybe.
So Rusev, instead of wrestling Bobby, he wrestles Drew McIntyre because Bobby said he hurt his groin doing things with Lana, if you know what he means. Ha 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 ha.
He's an evil person.
Terrible. So, of course, Bobby Lashley was faking an injury. He attacks Rusev with a crutch and then beats him up. Drew McIntyre just leaves. He's like, I've had enough of this. This is stupid. And then Rusev turns the table. He starts beating on Lashley. And then for some reason, Randy Orton hits an RKO on Rusev. Ricochet arrives. He makes a save for Rusev, drop kicks Lashley, and then Lashley bumps Lana, and Lana falls down too. And the announcers talk about, Team Flair and Team Hogan. So Randy and Drew and Lashley were all on Team Flair at Crown Jewel last week, and Rusev and Ricochet were on Team Hogan, which, okay, I guess they're trying to do that again, but Drew McIntyre bailed on the whole affair. Like, if it was really Team Flair all day, every day, wouldn't Drew McIntyre have stuck around to help Bobby Lashley beat up Rusev? But instead, Randy Orton's there. He's helping. It didn't make a whole lot of sense.
I think because they would be outnumbered, right? That's why McIntyre left, because it wouldn't have made a lot of sense if he stayed, because then they would have looked terrible, considering they got beat down in the end, right?
Well, why not just not involve Randy?
No, I guess because Randy...
because Drew and Rusev, who were already there, could have just beat up on... Or Drew and... what's his name? Bobby could have just beat up on Rusev, and then Ricochet makes a save, and it makes a lot of sense. It's totally fine. He sends Drew and Rusev and Bobby packing. But instead, Randy gets involved when Drew McIntyre just leaves for no reason.
Because then it's just Rusev and Ricochet beating you up. So it's it's kind of ridiculous in terms of the numbers game? Like, they should clearly win the heels, right? If McIntyre stays.
Well, yeah, if you're writing it, John, but like I'm saying, Drew McIntyre's character's motivation. What is it? Why did he leave?
He just felt like he had enough, I guess.
Okay, so he doesn't really care about Team Flair, but Randy Orton and Bobby Lashley really do, like they have this bond now? What am I supposed to understand? Are we going to have a match? Like, do not give me Drew with Randy and Bobby against Ricochet and Rusev and some other dude next week, because Drew has established himself as not really caring about the other two guys.
I think you're looking into it way too much, more than they probably thought. So that's probably the problem.
I'm trying to make sense of the show that I'm watching, you know? That's all I'm doing. I'm trying to make sense of this drawn-out Rusev thing that won't end and is terrible.
Oh, it's definitely not going to end, at least until Survivor Series. Maybe even TLC. I could see them doing like a one-off finally.
It's so bad, man. I don't want to watch it anymore. You know? Raw is bad. There were some good points. There were some bad points. The Rusev stuff, it's some bad points. I like the NXT Invasion stuff. That was really good. It started on SmackDown last week. It was great. You know? Bayley has a match with Nikki Cross. Shayna Baszler shows up, and she throws Sasha Banks into the ring post and kicks Nikki Cross out of the ring, and then she beats up Bayley. Like, Shayna just running roughshod over everybody, and then Sami Zayn's backstage, and he's like, NXT people better not try and mess with me. And then Keith Lee and Matt Riddle show up, and then they chase him around, and then Riddle eventually grabs him, and they hit their finishers on him, right? Riddle hit his bro Derek, and Lee hit the moonsault on Sami. Sami doing kind of some wrestling there.
Well, apparently he wrestles, just like not on TV.
Yeah, don't know why that is. And then The Miz hosted Miz TV, and Tommaso Ciampa showed up, and I thought they had a good promo there, Ciampa and The Miz.
Hopefully it's not going to be a match. I don't want to really see that as a match whatsoever.
What do you mean? They had a match. Did you not watch SmackDown last week?
No, I did not.
Obviously. They had a match right after that. Tommaso Ciampa won. It was all right.
Ugh.
Well, you weren't expecting Ciampa to be there, and then all of a sudden he's there, he's doing a promo, and he's wrestling. Watching the show, it was like, oh, this is cool. And Ciampa beat The Miz. It's a big win for Ciampa, beating a guy who, you know, former WWE champion, main evented at WrestleMania. The Miz is kind of a star in the WWE, and Ciampa, here's this NXT guy, beats him. I thought it was good. I liked it.
It doesn't really go anywhere, Ciampa being Miz, but I guess it puts over NXT.
It puts over NXT, and it puts over Ciampa, right? And NXT continued to be put over, which I'll explain to you, John, because you didn't watch SmackDown last week. Daniel Bryan's backstage. He sees Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and Triple H starts talking about how Survivor Series is NXT versus Raw versus SmackDown, and like, you know, are you looking for a fight, Daniel Bryan? You want some? And Bryan's like, yeah, I'm looking for a fight. You want to fight? And he gets in Triple H's face, and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I know they don't have a lot of people because everybody's stuck in Saudi Arabia, but are Daniel Bryan and Triple H really going to wrestle here? And then Triple H goes, no, you know, I'm not looking for a fight, but I know somebody who is. And as that's happening, Shawn Michaels is taking off his jacket, and you're like, what? Shawn Michaels is going to wrestle Daniel Bryan? This can't be real life, right?
Well, that's not going to happen.
And then Adam Cole shows up. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to wrestle you, Daniel Bryan. And Bryan's like, you know what? If we're going to do it, let's do it right. I want a shot at the NXT Championship. So Triple H is like, yeah, no problem. We're going to have the title match. And then Bryan and Cole had a match that was pretty good. But Adam Cole wound up winning, hitting his finisher to retain the NXT title. And then all the NXT wrestlers, a bunch of them that were there, they come out to celebrate with Adam Cole after he beats Daniel Bryan. And Triple H, front and center, he's got the microphone saying, we are NXT, Raw and SmackDown. You suck. I'm the best. I know all these young guys are here, and they're really good. But don't forget about me, Triple H. Which I thought was, you know, Triple H making it all about him. Is that necessary, Triple H, at this point? Is it still really all about you? Do you still have to cut these long promos? Can't you just let the people, the men and women that wrestle in NXT, be the face of this thing? Apparently not. You know, Hunter's going to stick his nose into it, of course. Stephanie, before that, congratulated the WWE and herself, really, for having the first women's match in Saudi Arabia. It's just a lot of self-aggrandizing McMahon-Helmsley era stuff that was unnecessary. It was a cool show, but, like, you don't have to put yourself over, Triple H. We understand you're behind the scenes. We appreciate you for it. You don't have to come out and get the crowd's ovation and be the general of NXT, you know? Is it necessary to have Triple H as the leader of NXT? Raw and SmackDown don't have those figureheads.
No, but they have other stars. And like NXT, a lot of people don't know the stars of NXT. So Triple H being the leader of it, it makes me like, oh, crap. You got to watch out for these guys because Triple H is there.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Tegan Nox and Rhea Ripley beat Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville with some more of that NXT versus WWE crossover. And it was supposed to be Dana Brooke and Carmella, but Bianca Belair backstage just took out Dana and Carmella. Did a guerrilla press on Carmella over some road cases, so that was kind of cool. The women got in on it. You know, Shayna was there. And then, of course, on Raw, we saw more of the NXT invasion. What did you think of Shayna Baszler and Becky's promo there face-to-face? I thought it was fantastic stuff, super intense. And at Survivor Series, it will be Bayley, the SmackDown Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion, and Shayna Baszler, the NXT Women's Champion, in a triple threat match.
Well, what's cool is because Shayna's Ronda's friend, and Becky beat Ronda. So that kind of sells itself right there. And they brought that up too, so I just like that Shayna's like, which part am I going to pick to beat you with? I kind of like that. Just shows you how, like, evil she really is.
Yeah, Shayna saying, look, I know you beat Ronda, but I'm not Ronda, and, you know, you're going to have to deal with me. But then Becky, you know, she's like, you know, I don't know you, Shayna, and I'm not sure if I should, you know, respect you or slap your head off, and we'll find out. And I see now you have the intimidation because you have to deal with the champ, and when you mess with me, you're never the same again. And I sent your friend Ronda Rousey packing and in hiding after WrestleMania when I beat her. You know, it was a good promo from Becky Lynch. Becky was really good, and Shayna was really good too. She held her own on the main roster. It's a big spot. Becky's used to it. Shayna's not, but Shayna did really well. But I thought Becky was awesome too. The whole promo I thought was excellent, and it made me very interested in the Shayna-Becky thing. But don't forget about Bayley. Bayley's got to get involved somehow, and I wonder how they're going to do it.
Well, they involved it because you said that Shayna attacked Bayley on SmackDown, and Becky and Bayley, that's already like a feud that's been set in stone, so it kind of writes itself already.
I suppose. Of course, on SmackDown this week, live in Manchester, we had Sasha Banks beating Nikki Cross. Bayley was there, but Shayna Baszler attacked her again. So, you know, Bayley just getting attacked by Shayna on SmackDown. Bayley's got to get some over, right? She's got to show up on Raw or NXT. Maybe Bayley goes back to NXT and beats up Shayna there. Shayna doesn't really get beat up, though, right? Like, Shayna is super strong all the time.
Well, it helps
you don't really
she has a
see
group.
Shayna. Yeah, she's got a group. She's got backup. She's the champion. She never loses. She's been champion for, like, almost a year now, right? She's really strong, and you never see her in a vulnerable position. Like, she did a promo with Becky. She doesn't beat up Becky, but, you know, it's a promo. And then on SmackDown 2 weeks in a row, she attacks Bayley.
But she is going to have a huge problem, though, because she has War Games one night, and then next night she has a triple threat match. So
Right.
That's a lot. Becky and Bayley don't have that, so they kind of have an advantage going in on Shayna.
That's true. I mean, Shayna is going to be wrestling the night before Survivor Series, and that's a disadvantage for a lot of these NXT people, right? And I'm sure they'll use that at Survivor Series because, you know, most of the NXT roster has matches against each other, whereas the WWE roster, they don't have to wrestle on the Saturday. Maybe there'll be some invasion, too, you know, from the Survivor Series opponents. What else is going to happen at Survivor Series? We have the Triple Threat Women's Championship match, which I think is fantastic. I mean, it's not for the titles, but it's all the champions, right?
Right.
We have Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio, which is great. What else is going to go down at Survivor Series? Is anything else official?
Triple threat tag.
Oh, yeah. The Raw Tag Team Champions, Viking Raiders, taking on the NXT Tag Team Champions, Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, and the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, winning them on SmackDown this week. The New Day, Big E and Kofi Kingston, taking the titles from The Revival. So that'll be a triple threat tag team match with all the champions involved. AJ Styles is the U.S. champion. Shinsuke Nakamura is the Intercontinental champion. And Roderick Strong is the North American champion. But I don't think they're going to do a triple threat with them, right?
Well, I hear Daniel Bryan might get a title shot against Nakamura because it seems like something's going on with that. So I could see AJ versus Daniel Bryan versus Roderick Strong for sure.
Okay.
So that has to happen. We need Nakamura versus Daniel Bryan before Survivor Series.
I don't know if that's going to happen, though. I don't know. I think we might see some sort of tag match at Survivor Series, and I want to get to that because there was some weird things happening on NXT this week with Finn Balor and the OC, AJ Styles and the OC invading NXT. It was a big week for them, and we'll get to that when we come back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. Short pause for the radio. Stay with us. And we're back. Welcome back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He is Johnny North. www.ringsidereport.net is our website. Go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, and when you do, click the bell so you get notifications each and every time we're on. If you want our AEW full gear coverage, that's going to be on Dave and Johnny Live, the preview, which you can watch on our YouTube channel. You can also watch our AEW watch along and post show going down during AEW's full gear that you can catch on the YouTube channel. More info for everything that we do and all the videos at www.ringsidereport.net. Let's get back to the action. Big Johnny in the WWE, the OC, AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows. They got involved in a major way with NXT and the NXT people this week. Seth Rollins in the middle of the ring. He cuts a promo. Seth got some boos. He said a lot of people are unhappy, or are happy rather, that he lost the Universal title to The Fiend, but he doesn't care about those people. Seth saying that he's mad that the Universal title's on SmackDown and that Brock Lesnar's back on Raw as the champion. He feels like everything he's done was for nothing. You know, we're back to square one, which you can kind of understand his frustration, and it felt like legitimate frustration from Kobe Lopez, the real Seth Rollins.
Good. He should feel that way because, yeah, he
Right?
failed. It's great.
It's great.
Yeah, it's great.
Why is it great?
Because Brock should be the champion. I'd rather see Brock than Seth Rollins.
I think you might be in the minority there.
No, I don't think so.
I'm with you, though. I'd rather see Brock than Seth as well with the championship on Raw. So Triple H shows up and he's like, "What's the matter, Seth? Oh, come on, you don't like wrestling anymore? I love you. I'm gonna prop you up, just like I always do. You're my best friend. I love you like a son. You're like the new Randy to me." I mean, he didn't say those words exactly, but you got the sentiment.
Well, he manipulated him pretty much.
He loves Seth Rollins. You know, he's his buddy and he loves him so much. It's like every time Seth Rollins needs like a little helping hand, there's Triple H to involve himself. And then he's like, "Hey, you're either with me or against me, Seth." And then the Undisputed Era shows up, and they look like they're going to attack Seth if he decides to attack them. I don't know. Like, is Triple H asking Seth to go back to NXT and join him?
It's kind of what he implied, yeah.
Right. I don't know. Not a bad idea for a while, maybe. So then the OC show up, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to get you, Undisputed Era." Undisputed Era start running away, and it looks like they're scared, but they're not scared. It was all a devious plan because Dominic Dijakovic and Damian Priest, they attack the OC from behind, and then the Undisputed Era get in on the action, and it's like 6-on-3, and they're beating up the OC. But then the Raw squad shows up, and it's really the Job Squad. Eric Rowan, Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, and R-Truth somehow are enough to send the NXT guys packing and running away. Seth Rollins didn't get involved at all during the melee. He just stood there and watched, but his music played to end the segment.
See, this was kind of disappointed by this. Like NXT, they bring like their top guys, but Raw, like it's pretty much the mid card at best.
We got the OC.
Well, that's the highest it goes, though.
Notice Brock Lesnar does not care about brand supremacy. He's like, I quit SmackDown. I'm going to Raw. I don't care about NXT. What's NXT? Who's Adam Cole? What's a Velveteen Dream anyways?
It's all about Rey Mysterio with Brock, and that's
yeah,
fine.
Brock's like, I really hate Rey Mysterio. Isn't he on SmackDown? Let me get that guy.
And he goes to Raw.
And then I'm going to beat Eddie Guerrero, too. What? Eddie's dead? What are you talking about? Brock's so unaware of everything, you know?
It's the anniversary of his death, by the way, too.
Miss him. Think about him a lot. Eddie Guerrero. And it's kind of nice that we're reliving the Brock-Eddie stuff with Brock and Rey. You know, in 2019, I didn't think that we'd see this. You know, I didn't think we'd see Brock and Rey Mysterio in 2019 for the WWE Championship. You know, when Eddie won the championship for the first time, he beat Brock. There's so much history there. So much history with Eddie and Rey, and Eddie and Brock, and Rey and Brock. And I like to see it revisited here. It's nice. Kind of, keeps the memory of the great Eddie Guerrero alive. And I'm just joking. I know that Brock knows that Eddie's no longer with us. I'm just kidding because Brock is so unaware of what's going on in WWE. You know, Brock, he doesn't watch the product. He said it before on TV. I don't watch this show. Why would he watch this show? Heyman said that too, didn't he?
Well, they laughed about it, yeah.
Yeah, like, why would we watch?
But that means Goldberg's going to interfere in this match? Because Goldberg interfered in the Eddie Guerrero match with Brock?
No.
Aw, damn. It's too bad. I wanted Goldberg to come back.
No, I think Brock just beats Rey with an F5, right? In about 6 minutes?
Hopefully longer than that.
Yeah, probably not. So the OC, they have a beef with NXT. And it seems like all of NXT. They don't like Damian Priest and Dominic Dijakovic, of course, right? They got attacked by them. They don't like the Undisputed Era, of course. And then they had a match with the Street Profits and Humberto Carrillo, who are former NXT people. And they won that match, AJ beating Carrillo, getting the pin on him with a stack-up powerbomb and his feet on the ropes. And then at the end of Raw, it was another melee with the OC and NXT when Seth Rollins went one-on-one with NXT champion Adam Cole for the NXT title. This time, though, Adam Cole didn't win like he did against Daniel Bryan, which I'm still kind of like, not thrilled about.
They gloated about that, too. Triple H was like, yeah, we beat Daniel Bryan.
I'm not thrilled that Daniel Bryan has to lose to the NXT champion. Clean.
The Authority wins again.
Yeah, right? Triple H won't let it go. So Seth Rollins winds up getting the win by disqualification when the Undisputed Era just attacks Seth Rollins. Undisputed Era, Adam Cole's group, his stable mates. And then the OC show up to help Seth again, I guess. Are they Seth's friends now?
Well, because he's on Raw. That's why
That's really it. They just love Raw so much. Even though SmackDown was the house that AJ Styles built.
Well, and Seth Rollins seemed like he was going to jump to NXT because he wanted to win the NXT championship. He said, if I'm going to NXT, I want the title shot.
Yeah.
So it seemed like Seth betrayed Raw, in my opinion. It seemed like he was going to.
But Raw's greatest defenders, the OC, don't really care about that because they're still going to help Seth. And then Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, Dominic Dijakovic, they all show up. Pete Dunne was there. And then a bunch of Raw guys show up. Ricochet, Eric Rowan, Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, the same old crew. Damian Priest was there. Ricochet did this dive onto everybody. And then Keith Lee, who's like near 300 pounds, he does a dive on everyone as well to close the show. It was pretty cool. It gets you excited about the NXT versus Raw feud that seems to be going on. They're both on the USA Network. It makes sense for a lot of back and forth. And it was a fun way to end the show with a melee. It was a decent episode of Raw.
Well, I'm loving this three-way feud, even though it kind of feels like it's Raw versus NXT and then it's SmackDown versus NXT, but still, it works.
Yeah, it is everybody versus NXT, right? It's not really Raw versus SmackDown.
Not yet.
Not yet. Like, Shayna is feuding with Becky, and she's feuding with Bayley. But Bayley and Becky aren't really feuding.
Well, again, that's already been done, right? So they don't need to establish that.
The Undisputed Era, are they really feuding with the Viking Raiders or the New Day, though? Like, they're not really doing anything with them. There's been very little interaction, if any.
Yeah, it's just the fact that it's Raw, SmackDown, that's it.
Like, the Viking Raiders won a match on Raw this week against a jobber team that they called the East Hampton Boys or something. What was that?
Better than the Cubs, I think, the week before.
East Hampton Polo Boys got squashed by the Viking Raiders, but then the Viking Raiders cut a promo on the OC saying, like, you beat us at Crown Jewel. You're calling yourself the best tag team in the world because you won that tournament. But, we're the tag team champions and we want to wrestle you. So, even though the Viking Raiders have a match at Survivor Series in, 2 weeks now? They're still talking about the OC.
Well,
like, they're not feuding against the OC. They have a match at Survivor Series against New Day and Undisputed Era, but they cut a promo on OC.
Makes sense for the OC to win the tag team titles and wrestle Undisputed Era.
It would. So maybe that's what's going to happen. Maybe that's why the Viking Raiders are calling out the OC, because they're getting ready to drop the titles to them, because the OC are kind of feuding with the Undisputed Era.
Makes a lot of sense, but we'll see. I mean, again, sometimes these matches just happen just because it's the way it works out.
Maybe you do AJ Styles, Adam Cole, Daniel Bryan. Like triple threat. Daniel Bryan wins the Intercontinental title. AJ Styles is U.S. champion. They take on the NXT champion, Adam Cole.
I don't know. It kind of destroys the theme of everything. It also lowers like the NXT championship. Say it's not on the same level. It has to be with the U.S. title and the IC title. It's got to be Roderick Strong.
Okay. Yowie wowie. What's happening with The Fiend?
What is happening with the Fiend?
Yowie wowie. He's a Universal Champion, buddy. Is he going to defend it at Survivor Series?
Well, that's it. He doesn't have to defend. Adam Cole doesn't have to defend either, right? He could just be in tag matches.
Are they going to wrestle? Will it be The Fiend versus Adam Cole? Because Brock's busy wrestling Rey. That'd be a weird one.
Yeah, I don't know if I really want to see that so much.
Nope. But, like, what's The Fiend going to do?
He'll do something for sure, because the Fiend is kind of like one of the big attractions right now in all of WWE, so they'll find a place for him.
He's not my favorite, but what are you going to do? AJ Styles and the OC, they go to NXT, and they start talking about NXT and how they're unimpressed, and then Tommaso Ciampa shows up, welcomes them to the main roster, which was a nice little line there, and then Keith Lee and Matt Riddle show up, and they've got Ciampa's back, and we have a 6-man tag to close the show in the main event. Very cool seeing AJ Styles and the OC in NXT. They take on Lee, Ciampa, and Riddle. Goes to a no contest. Big melee there. Finn Balor shows up. He hits Riddle with a DDT. And then he does like a pose. Like he throws up his too sweet. Or AJ throws up the too sweet. And then Finn does a double guns, Bullet Club style. Like they're posing like they're buddies. But then Adam Cole shows up. And he super kicks AJ Styles. And then hits a knee to the back of the head of Tommaso Ciampa, and then Adam Cole kind of looks at Finn Balor like, hey, we're buddies too, and it's like, well, who's Finn buddies with? Is he buddies with Adam Cole, or is he buddies with AJ Styles, because Adam Cole just kicked AJ Styles in the face? Is Finn with the OC guys? Is he with the Undisputed Era guys? Last week, it looked like he was with the Undisputed Era guys. This week, it looked like for a second he was back with the OC guys, but then maybe not.
I think Finn does a lot of this on purpose. They've booked him like this to make it seem like Finn, you don't know where he's really aligned with. So you have to keep watching to find out where Finn's going to choose who he's going to be with.
What do you think?
I think in the end he's just going to be by himself.
Okay. I don't know. I think it might be Finn and Styles and like at Survivor Series, maybe a Survivor Series style match. Finn, AJ, and Anderson and Gallows against the Undisputed Era. Cole and, the rest of the guys. Roderick Strong, Fish, and O'Reilly.
I'd rather AJ in a title match. I mean, against champions, but
like a triple threat championship match where he not defends, but he's the U.S. champion, and maybe Daniel Bryan or Shinsuke Nakamura are the Intercontinental champion, and then Roderick Strong is involved as a North American champion. Yeah. It'd be a good match. But then what about Adam Cole?
Well, Adam Cole doesn't need to wrestle in this. He's got War Games too, right? You
don't think Adam Cole is going to wrestle at Survivor Series after all of this, after He wrestles Bryan last week on SmackDown. He wrestles AJ Styles, or rather Seth Rollins on Raw this week. You really think Adam Cole isn't going to wrestle? I disagree. I think he's going to wrestle.
Let's remember, he's got an injured wrist, too, as well. He's doing this all hurt. I mean, how long can you keep going until you finally can't wrestle? Especially if you're going through War Games as well.
They're doing War Games, too, the night before, and he's going to be in that against Ciampa, Riddle, Lee, and somebody else, a mystery partner right now. It'll be Cole, Fish, O'Reilly, and Strong, all of Undisputed Era, against Ciampa, Riddle, Lee, and somebody. I figure that somebody's going to be Johnny Gargano?
Unless he's wrestling Finn. I don't know. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, maybe Finn's wrestling him, right? Maybe Velveteen Dream?
If he can come back. He's hurt too, right? So a lot of people get hurt in NXT.
It's a hard style.
Well, it's the training too as well. It's tough.
I enjoyed NXT this week. I thought it was a solid show, you know. I like that the OC's there. I think this Survivor Series stuff is really good. It's fun. It makes it feel like NXT is its own brand. You know, they're treating the NXT people with respect. They're getting wins over main roster people. It's not like the NXT people are going up to the main roster and having good showings but coming up short like they're winning, you know. They're looking good. The main roster people still looking strong, though. You know, the OC still looking strong when they go over to NXT. I think it's good, and I'm looking forward to Survivor Series. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but I feel like the WWE is doing well. Like, I'm still looking forward to, you know, a pay-per-view like Full Gear. I think Full Gear will be a better pay-per-view than Survivor Series. I think Full Gear will probably be the best wrestling pay-per-view of the month, but I think Survivor Series has some stuff that'll be fun.
Well, it's a different kind of thing because this is mainly going to be tag matches and triple threat matches from the look of it. So Survivor Series always feels like a different kind of pay-per-view, but it stands out because it's unique and different compared to everything else you see.
There will be a 15-woman traditional Survivor Series style match. So they're doing the triple threat style Survivor Series match, which will take forever because all those people have to be eliminated, right?
Goodness.
So it's going to be Team Raw versus Team SmackDown versus Team NXT. Dana Brooke and Carmella are official for Team SmackDown. So I guess we'll find out the participants of Team NXT and Team Raw and the rest of Team SmackDown as the next couple of weeks go on. Still only just 2 more weeks of TV before WWE Survivor Series.
Wow.
And technically, you know, Raw is taped on Monday, so they don't have that much Raw.
It's very interesting how things are going to pan out in the next couple of weeks because so much can happen. You have such a deep roster, so much talent to use. It's going to be interesting.
It will be interesting to see what they do for Survivor Series because a lot of people are going to get on that card. You know, just a 15-woman Survivor Series style match. A lot of people are going to get opportunities to be on pay-per-view. You know, I mean, a lot of people in the WWE are going to get opportunities to be on pay-per-view that they wouldn't ordinarily get. And forget about that Undisputed Era versus OC match for Survivor Series. It doesn't make sense because the 2 of the Undisputed Era guys are already booked. Right? Fish and O'Reilly are in that triple threat tag match, so they couldn't be in a Survivor Series match against the OC and Finn Balor, right?
People can lose championships too as well, so things can always be switched around, right?
That's true. That's true. I wonder what's going to happen. Survivor Series looks fun, though. I'm looking forward to Becky, Shayna, and Bayley, which I think will be the match, and I'm looking forward to Rey and Brock, which I know will be the match, you know? Those 2 matches, good enough, and then whatever else you do, that'll be fun.
Well, the only thing I worry about, again, traditionally with these kind of pay-per-views, they're very long. Thankfully, SummerSlam, not too long, ended at 10:30. I hope Survivor Series can continue this trend. Problem is they book a lot of matches, and these tag matches are super long, and they really drag. You saw Team Flair, Team Hogan. That was a really long match, and that was one kind of match like this. It wasn't even elimination style. Imagine seeing like 3 or 4 of these kind of matches.
And we'll probably see another Team Flair versus Team Hogan thing, right? Because they did something on Raw this week. So they'll probably do like a Randy, Drew, Bobby. Who else was on that thing?
Well, I believe the other person was on SmackDown, if I'm not mistaken. It was
Oh.
King Corbin.
You could do that again, though, couldn't you? Maybe they'll just do the match over again as a Survivor Series style match. Like, picture that, right? It was a 10-man tag, right? Team Hogan versus Team Flair.
Right.
It was, let's see if they can do it. Roman Reigns, why not? Rusev, Ricochet, Shorty G, and Ali. Shorty G and Ali are a tag team now, so that makes sense. They could take on Randy Orton, Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, Nakamura, and Drew McIntyre. Maybe swap Nakamura out with somebody else, or maybe Nakamura drops the Intercontinental title to Daniel Bryan, and then he's in this match. Either way, I think you could totally just redo the Crown Jewel match at Survivor Series. I don't want them to, but, like, I don't know. Maybe you throw an NXT team there too. Like, you do it that way. It's Team Flair, Team Hogan versus Team NXT.
You don't have to, though, because not every match is like Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. You do have matches where it's just Raw versus Raw. So it's possible where you don't need to throw NXT in there.
They can't redo Team Flair versus Team Hogan, can they? Because it was a one fall to a finish match, and this would be a elimination-style match. There's no way they're going to do it again, though. Right, John? Come on, please.
I can see them easily do it. Why not?
Because it would be terrible.
Well, these matches are never, like, classic matches. I mean, think
No.
of classic Survivor Series matches. Many of them are just like, okay, it's nice to see these guys wrestle each other for, like, 2-3 seconds, and then that's it. It's over.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of the Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia, we got some more news as to what exactly happened. Some WWE wrestlers were talking about, being held up in Saudi Arabia. And at this point, it seems unclear. We're getting conflicting reports. Dave Meltzer reported something, and then Seth Rollins said it was completely untrue, and Meltzer apologized for it afterwards. Like, it's really unclear what happened, what transpired. There seemed to be a delay with the flight. AJ Styles talked about it. He said there was some sort of fuel tanker parked in front of their plane, so they couldn't board or they couldn't leave. And then there was a mechanical issue with the plane, and they weren't going to have another plane because the flight crew was there, and they couldn't work more than 24 hours straight, so they had to break, and then they were just delayed to the next day. These kinds of things do happen in air travel. I think a lot of people were more suspicious because it was in Saudi Arabia, and there was some sort of dispute apparently over money where the Saudis hadn't paid Vince, and Vince wanted the money, and he got the money. And maybe the Saudis were doing a power move and holding the WWE wrestlers back. A lot of wrestlers apparently are unhappy, but none of them have really voiced their displeasure in public. I'd like to hear from some of the wrestlers who are unhappy what their story is and what really happened. I think whatever happened in Saudi Arabia and delayed the crew will come out in time, and eventually we'll get the full story. And we'll talk about it on Wrestling Uncensored, but right now, I'm not confident to say whatever happened 100%. I'm not sure that the Saudis did something, but I'm not sure that they didn't either. I'm not sure it was totally a mechanical issue with the plane that kept the wrestlers in the WWE, but I'm also not sure it wasn't a mechanical issue that kept them in Saudi Arabia.
Well, no one was held at gunpoint, though, because I know there was rumors of that.
Yeah, no one was held at gunpoint. No one was told that they were a hostage directly, but people felt hostage-y according to certain reports, which, I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. Until Ringside Report or Wrestling Uncensored gives you facts, things that we could tell you actually transpired, don't worry about it. We'll tell you what happened when you need to know when there are actual facts out there. Right now, it's all conjecture. I don't believe half the stuff I see out there as far as what happened in Saudi Arabia because different supposed reporters are reporting different supposed facts. So you can't really take it for what it is. It's hard to know. We'll find out in time. The wrestlers will talk about it in time.
Well, the main thing is everyone got home to their families safely, so that's the important thing.
Yeah. Oh, the main thing isn't that most of them miss SmackDown?
I don't think that it's that important whatsoever.
Right, no. No, the main thing is everything turned out all right and everything was fine in the end. Just like this show, everything is fine in the end. Johnny North, when's your next match? When can people see you in the ring?
November 17th, 4325 Industrial Boulevard, bell time 2 p.m.
Where is Industrial Boulevard? What city? What are we talking about?
It's in Montreal.
Oh, okay.
You've been there before.
Oh, yeah,
Couple
4325 Industrial Boulevard
You've been there.
in Montreal.
You've been there.
I've been there.
Inside.
Yes.
How is it?
Well, I saw that cheat Drew Onyx lose to you in that building, but I saw him beat you last time. So you're going to get some revenge this time, right?
Because I'm against him in a tag match, so yes.
Yeah. You and
Me and Bjork.
Bjork, not the singer.
Not
The
singer.
man Bjork. It's a man Bjork taking on Drew Onyx and the Suicide Jesus. We're going to get you, Suicide Jesus.
Put him to a cross, yeah.
Well, let's not get biblical here.
Why not?
It's kind of mean. Follow him on Twitter at North Genesis. Follow him on Instagram at Genesis Johnny North. You could follow me on all the things at Dave Simon MMA. Check out our Full Gear watch-along post-show on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net, with the .net spelled out DOTNET. For more info on everything we do, go to our website, www.ringsidereport.net. For Johnny North, I am Dave Simon, and this has been Wrestling Uncensored. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.